CivitAI is in hot water because they made a big mistake. They want money from you. Let's talk about that. CivitAI has introduced clubs, and this is kind of like Patreon, where you can support other creators who make models and LoRa's and other things with your own money. But well, of course, there have been some problems. First of all, why call it clubs? It's kind of confusing, to be honest. So that is the first kind of very strange decision. Then another thing here is that, at least at the moment, you have to buy BUS, which is the virtual currency on CivitAI, and then you pay BUS to the creators. I'm not sure if they can exchange that back to dollars, but why go this extra step and not just support them directly with money? That kind of seems very confusing. And it also, because it's a currency of CivitAI, it seems like the money is first going directly 100% to CivitAI, and then eventually maybe coming back to the creators, or maybe they can like exchange it for online render time. It's not a good decision to do it like that from my personal perspective. Another thing that's kind of strange here is the way this is set up, because if you go to the actual clubs page, you have this here. They are kind of strange, to be honest. Like there's the real cartoon fan club, and then you have the comedy club. So I go on the comedy club page and it says, a place for the comedians on CivitAI to hang around, post works that they are proud of, etc. Why do I pay money for that to be a comedian on CivitAI? That's kind of strange, to be honest. There is tiers for participation in generation contests, and then also to sponsor these contests. Makes a little bit more sense, but overall it's kind of strange because it should be more about supporting creators. Thing like here's Hargang, who made this LoRa to make better text. Very little information on most of these pages. And there is nothing here. The feed is empty, models empty, articles empty, posts empty. Might have been better to wait a little bit so this can fill up a little bit with content, at least so people see what they get. They have a certain preview. I would also have suggested to put a video here on the clubs page to explain what this is about, because it's a pretty novel concept, even though people know things like Patreon. And I think this needs to be balanced out in the way this is actually interacting with the community and the rewards that we can expect from that. So here for the best practice, for example, it says timed exclusive access. And I absolutely agree with that, because this is also how it works on Patreon. For example, for YouTubers, people sometimes they get early access to the video. So you, for example, get the video a day early or 7 days early, and then it goes public and everybody can watch it. This would be absolutely fine for models to have. Then also enhanced resources. This is a little bit more sketchy at that point, because here the suggestion is that you could have a light version of your model and then also a premium version of your model. So it maybe suggests that you would have a worse free version, and then if you want to have the actual good version of the model, you would have to pay for that. Exclusive metadata and insights, that again makes a lot more sense. If you, for example, have exclusive videos about how to best use your model, or how to prompt for it the best way, or you make a workshop about your model, or you make one-on-one sessions about your model, and this is offered to your users maybe at a reduced price or maybe for free for their support, things like that could be good. Also here for the enhanced resources, I would maybe kick that out and call it additional resources, to be honest. Like, for example, maybe parts of the training data or information on how you trained the model, or merges with other models. So just additional content is not really necessary to use the original model, but gives you a better experience, a deeper look into that. Maybe also some advanced descriptions on about how you train the models, why they are so good, how to avoid or solve different things, stuff like that. Things that are important and interesting for people who want to dive deeper, who actually are deeper into the subject and want to support you because of that, because they are basically power users, right? So that could be interesting. Of course, because of all the backlash, they wrote here a feedback where they make suggestions for different versions here. For example, CivitAI could have ads and then you pay for ad free. That might be an option, but I think most people will just go with ad blocker at that point, like for most other pages out there. So I'm not quite sure if this is the best way to go about that. Of course, page generation is something that is a standard on a lot of pages today. No problem with that. I think the clubs are not a bad idea in general. I just think they need to be reworked in what they are, what their purpose is, and that you can actually support the creators with real money so it is closer to how Patreon works, because right now it's a little bit strange and some of the clubs shouldn't be clubs, at least from my perspective. The idea of a paid commercial license could actually be interesting. The question from my side here would be, how do you do that? Because you don't really have control over what the models have been trained on. You have to trust the creator of the model with that, if they had rights over the images or not, and who has big libraries of licensed images that they can use for training. I'm not quite sure that a lot of the community models are actually based on something that you can license. So that might also be a problem. On the other hand, we also have to think about the concept of payment in general. Let's go to the big screen for this. So there is no doubt that open source has been the driving force behind the innovation of AI, specifically in AI image generation, because the community, especially the power players in the community, have invested countless hours, resources, their experience to train models, LoRa's, and build resources that far outrank everything that Stability AI has provided so far. Of course, I'm not saying Stability AI is not doing their part. They have built the foundation for that, and without them, nothing of that would work. But the community has been a much bigger driving force of AI image generation. And these people decided, and this is absolutely amazing, and it is makes me believe in mankind, they decided to give all of these resources to you for free. So you can use them, you can play with them, you can experiment with them, you can create art with them. Now, one thing that puzzles me personally is that some people out there seem to think they deserve that people work for free for them, and that people invest their resources for free, their experience for free, just so that they can download stuff and have fun with it without giving back to these creators. No, that's not how it works. I'm sorry. Just because a file is online and readily available and can be copied unlimited times does not mean that a real person is not behind that file, who has created it, who has invested their time, their knowledge, their money. And then on top of that, also you have to think about structures like CivitAI, who footed the bill to develop the page, to pay for the online hosting, to pay for the traffic, so you can access these files. Why wouldn't that be worth at least a little bit of money? Because the truth is, the more advanced AI gets, the more it becomes an actual job. People out there will make it their main job and their main passion and base in life to create these resources, might these be models or UIs or any kind of other resource, where they work on them full time. Why would they not want to be paid for that? Especially in the form of donations, where it's not even like they say, well, either you pay me or you don't get anything. It's more like they say, you can support me if you want to. If not, you get access to my stuff a little bit later. I think that's fair. Another thing that I find interesting is there seems to be no beef at all with companies like Midjourney or Runway, who not only charge for their service from day one, but never release the stuff into the free world so you can use it open source. So while I think the introduction of clubs has not been done in the best way, a lot of mistakes have been made, and it should have been more on eye level with the actual needs of the community, I also think that people who create amazing resources at least deserve some donations from the community for their work and for creating amazing sources that we can experiment with for free every day. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and see you soon. Bye. Oh, you're still here. So this is the end screen. There's other stuff you can watch like this or that. It's really cool. And yeah, I hope I see you soon. Leave a like if you haven't yet. And well, yeah,